Romeo and Juliet are moving to a whole new garden.
Sherlock Gnomes. God, what to say about this movie? So let's start with facts first, I guess. So Sherlock Gnomes is a sequel to the 2011 animated movie Romeo and Juliet. Sherlock Gnomes is directed by John Stevenson, who also did Kung Fu Panda, which I love, and stars James McAvoy as Romeo, Emily Blunt as Juliet, Johnny Depp as Sherlock Holmes, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Dr. Watson, and Jamie Demetriou as Moriarty. So the plot can be summed up thus. While attempting to figure out who has taken all the garden gnomes in London, Sherlock Holmes, the self-proclaimed protector of garden gnomes, crosses paths with Romeo and Juliet, who are themselves attempting to find out what happened to all the gnomes in their own garden. Alright, there. Facts out of the way. Let's move on to opinion. So let's talk about the trailer for a second. There are two things that happened in the trailer that I think are noteworthy. The first thing is that a good 40% of what you see in the trailer is not actually in the movie. This is not actually to the movie's detriment, as none of that material would have served this movie in any way. I'm just still trying to decide whether or not I like or dislike this particular practice. I'm noticing it more and more these days, especially with animated films. I mean, it does help to give a sense of what the movie's going to be like without actually giving anything away, but it's also somehow irritating. The second thing is that the movie's main antagonist is nowhere in the trailer. This wouldn't bother me if there was some sort of big reveal at the end or something to justify it, but we meet said antagonist within the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it is abundantly clear that he is the movie's antagonist. Now, having said that, I'd worry about that being a little too spoilery, but A, I doubt very many people are actually going to see this movie. B, if you do see this movie and you think that I somehow gave something away, you just need to get better at watching movies. And C, I don't care. I will say this about Sherlock Gnomes. The animation is beautiful. There are a few scenes that look completely photorealistic, and I love the textures, and it's a really pretty movie. Beyond that, though, this movie's pretty forgettable. I'll give it props for not trying to get people who didn't see Romeo and Juliet caught up, or for not spending 30 minutes setting up the plot of the movie. To its credit, Sherlock Gnomes hits the ground running and is pretty well non-stop for the duration. Also, beyond the main cast, there are a bunch of recognizable, mostly British names here. Mary J. Blige, Michael Caine, Dexter Fletcher, James Hong, Matt Lucas, Stephen Merchant, Ozzy Osbourne, Maggie Smith, Julie Walters, but they're all very much secondary and mostly played for laughs. In the end, Sherlock Gnomes is interesting in a sort of passing the time way, but as I said before, pretty forgettable. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 stars. It's not worth paying to see, or worth buying on Blu-ray, unless you have kids. And that's that. Have you had the opportunity to see it yet? Did you see Romeo and Juliet? If so, tell me what you thought in the comments, and we'll see you next time.